Hey, what is going on, everybody? You already know. Usually this is Wednesday night, but tonight we're going a little special time tonight, 8 o'clock. Sorry for the delay. First and foremost, we want to pray for Joe Sullivan's microphone. It hit the wall tonight. So first and foremost, that's where our little difficulties was. But guys, we're live tonight. Usually it's college football friends. We're flipping a script, just like last week, which we get the AFC East. So tonight, the Twitter poll coming up with a new idea. And tonight we're going NFC South. So guys, are you guys ready to talk about some pro football here? And of course, I got my usual panel. Big Mike to the side of me, Joe Sullivan below me, Sean Killer Rain. A little bit different tonight without the beard. Yes, he is legal, boys. He's over 18, so just letting everybody know. Don't harass us. All right. So, guys, you guys ready to do this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go.
You know, I was about as efficient as the NFC South division was last year. It was trash.
You know what? That's why we did this.
I couldn't get I couldn't get apologies for being like I didn't realize there was an X by my speaker, so I thought it was the headphones, and here it was a simple little fix. I'm a real technical genius over here, you know.
Oh man, yeah. You know, we did it for a reason because the NFC South was so trash last year. So we want to give our viewers an experience of like what it's like being in NFC South. That's why we did it. That's why we did it. So listen, we're gonna lead this off here. Mike, what team are you doing today, brother?
I am doing those New Orleans Saints, baby.
The New Orleans Saints. All right, well, let's talk about it, Mike. What we got going on with the New Orleans Saints here, man?
Well, it's simple. The New Orleans Saints have had a little bit of turnaround, and I'll tell you what, little shocking development, really. You know, they go out, they trade for Derek Carr, you know, and I'll tell you what, you know, not to worry about even Derek Carr, but they bring back Jameis Winston too as a backup.
Cheap too.
Cheap,
Absolutely.
cheap. I thought Jameis could definitely get more money elsewhere.
Yeah.
And how about this? Breaking news a little while ago, they restructured the deal with their wide receiver, Michael Thomas. So, you know, they're looking pretty good out there, man. And I'll tell you what, they are going to take a little bit of a hit on defense, though. I think Marcus Davenport is definitely going to be leaving away from them. But, you know, just going by what they did so far, you know, I like the deal that they got for Jawan Johnson. Sign him to a $12 million contract extension. You know, tight end. He's going to be able to go down there. He'll be able to play with him and Taysom Hill. You know, the thing is, do they have enough money underneath? Because they were kind of cap hell. Do they have enough money to get Alvin Kamara back? Or if they don't, who do you guys think that they're going to try to bring in to help alleviate that run pressure down there run the ball?
Here's a crazy name, Mike. I mean, you guys, of course, we're not talking about the NFC East here, but the Eagles just got Rashad Penny, good 6-yard back for the last 2 years of his lifetime, you know. But what do you think with you're talking here with the Saints? What about Miles Sanders out there, man?
I don't think Sanders would be a fit there.
I think Sanders would be a fit in Denver, but that's for another time. But the Saints, I mean, are we talking defense-wise or offense-wise?
No. Running back right now. Who can they plug in? Because they're probably going to lose Alvin Kamara.
Well, how about Deontay Foreman, Kareem Hunt? You know, think about it. I mean, you want to change the pace back. I mean, you never know. Look at all these signings. We're thinking so-and-so's going to go here, and you know they go elsewhere. But yeah, that you bring up a good point, man. I don't really know because with all Kamara's legal trouble, like you said, I see them moving on and letting.
Well, here TJ brings up a great one here. What about Austin Eckler? He's not traded yet, but he's allowed to talk to other teams right now.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, you never know.
How could they get? I mean, you know, what do they have? Do they have a Howie Roseman down there on the salary cap? Because I mean, the Saints have had salary cap issues for the last few years. How are they going to get? I mean, Austin Eckler sounds great in theory, but how are they going to get the money for him? I mean, they've already had to restructure a bunch of contracts just to get Derek Carr there. I mean,
Cameron Jordan, you're right. Yeah.
Now, let me Kamara's not a free agent, right?
He's not.
He's not, but they want to get past him with that suspension and
that's what I'm thinking. I think they play this year out, and I think they go to Kamara's agent and say, "Listen, there's not a lot of trade rumors regarding your name with this bullshit going on with you, man. How about you play out the year, ball out this year, then we can talk long term here. Let's get through the legal situation first. It might work out both sides of the ball here because the Saints might luck out, man. If there's legal issues, okay, well, we rode you for 1 year. We didn't lose any money. We paid you for keep. Think about it both ways. I mean, the only person that can get screwed really is Kamara, really.
Yeah. To touch on Mike's point, too, Marcus Davenport signed with the Vikings, so he's already gone.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Well, TJ said you never know about with Eckler with us, man. I think how he's doing is up to something.
Yeah, I think he is, too.
We're real quiet, just like we touched base yesterday on our show, me and Joe. I mean, I see something brewing, whether it's offensive side of the ball or defense, but something is going to give. Like, for example, Darren Waller went to the Giants for a third rounder. Reason being, he's injury prone, but once he's healthy, like me and Joey said, he's a hell of a tight end. But who knows? I think we can give them Eckler a third or a fourth round pick for him,
Yeah, but do you think, Howie went out and he re-signed Boston Scott for $2 million a year. Yeah, you got Trey Sermon. You got Trey Sermon still, who I was listening to Adam Kaplan today. He said they like him. So right now,
good.
Right now, you're going forward. You're taking the lottery ticket on Rashad Penny, which honestly, he's got a major injury history. But if that kid's healthy,
big time.
That kid's healthy, he's an upgrade. All right. So you got Rashad Penny. Gainwell's going to have a big role. You got Boston Scott back, and then you got Sermon, and then
Kennedy Brooks. Don't forget about him. I know he's on the practice squad, but you're right.
Well, you're talking about. I just don't see Eckler being a fit for the Eagles because I think it's more likely maybe the Eagles possibly consider running back in like the third round.
Eileen said they just reconstructed his contract.
Whose contract? Kamara's?
I don't know. Eileen, who are we talking about there? I know the names we mentioned were Eckler, Kamara, if we're still talking about that one, but I didn't see anything on regarding that yet.
Now, to bring up back to Mike's invoice with the Saints, who do you think they're going to draft? Who would you draft if you're them?
I'll tell you what. Well, they don't have a first round pick, so
no, they do. They do now, though. They got one for Sean Payton.
What's that?
Yeah, they did.
24th.
24th, Mike.
Oh, they got 24?
Okay. Yeah.
So if you're looking at back around that end of it, if I'm the Saints, I'm looking defensive line only because they got to replace Marcus Davenport, who left. But I'll tell you what, like as far as free agent running backs, I think, Sean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. I think Kareem Hunt would be a great fit there because not only can he run the ball, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's got pretty good hands. He was the guy, they would pull Nick Chubb out of the game, when they needed him to catch,
like a cowbell. You're right.
So, I could see Hunt signing there and probably getting the money that he wants. I don't see Kamara starting the season with them. I really don't. I think Kamara, don't be surprised, guys, if he gets released. Like, really don't be surprised.
Well, he you know what? Eileen must have been talking about this because it says Alvin Kamara restructured his contract. He gave up saving up to $7 million on the cap.
Yes, he did. It was him. It was him, and she's right. It was him and Cameron Jordan. They restructured their deals. Yes. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
And I don't think the Saints are done either. They really got a Dennis Allen. I believe will have them up and ready. I like where they're going. Do I feel like they're the class of that division? I don't. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Tampa's still got a good defense. They got a decent offensive line. That offensive line's coming back healthy this year.
Yeah.
What a lot of people ain't realizing about Tampa. And I'll tell you what, if Baker Mayfield goes there with those weapons, they're going to be scary. The only problem I have is we all know Baker is Baker. And I know Joe will touch on that when he touches, the Bucs. But for me, honestly, the team I feel in this division that has done the most and I feel like can basically be the team in this division is the team that Paul's wearing right now. Those Atlanta Falcons. They've done some really great stuff. But I have the Saints. I feel like they need to upgrade their cornerbacks a little bit more. I know they got Lattimore on one side. They do have the Honey Badger. They need to upgrade on that other side. Whether it be free agently, like I tell you, the kid who I was looking at for the Birds, if we didn't re-sign Bradbury, was Nasir Adderley. He's a young kid. He's 26 years old. Played with Los Angeles Chargers. Really good. He's out of the University of Delaware, and he's a local kid. He's from out here in Delco, and really good. I think that could be a steal for the Saints if they go and get him. He's really good. Tall, physical. He's like 6'2", like 215, 220, physical defensive back. If they go and get him to match up on the other side with Lattimore and put in that secondary with the Honey Badger, Saints could be a really good team. I'm just not sold on the whole Derek Carr.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Mike, how do you feel that Thomas is going to come back this year? A 1-year deal, $10 million. I mean, he's been out for over a year now with this turf toe nagging leg injury. I mean, he has Olave on the other side, man. How do you think he's going to be this year coming back off this 1-year deal?
I think he's just a head case. I don't think he wants to play football. He's like the Saints version of Ben Simmons. Wants the money, wants the fame, don't want to play. Like Drew Brees retired, and he pretty much just didn't care. Like he didn't give Andy Dalton or
the other guy a chance.
Yeah. Like he didn't give none of them a chance.
I agree. I agree with that.
It's like a kid who pouts and doesn't get his way, and then
he's a metal midget. He's a metal midget. I'm so glad the Eagles didn't try to pull a trade for him. Because I do not want that. That dude's a cancer.
I agree. How do you lead the league in catches over 120 balls 2 years in a row and then just like disappear off the face of the earth?
Bro, he rolled his ankle. Like what literally should have been taken probably a 6 to 8 week, even with the surgery, an 8-week injury. That dude sat out for a year. Then he came back and got turf toe and sat out again for another year. This dude's not a team player, man, at all, man. And the way I look at this, 3-1. Wow, shocker there.
There's a question for you, Mike. Are you surprised Winston's coming back?
Yes.
I mean, it's a cheap deal.
Yes. You know where I thought Winston was going to end up, honestly? I thought he was going to go to Carolina, but here Andy Dalton went there. Which was
how about that? Yeah.
Let me ask you guys something here. Like, as far as looking at this division, because we're all talking about this division, okay? How do you see this division stacking up? Like, to me, I see it's Atlanta. I got. Listen, did you see the moves they made? Arthur Smith went out and got. This is so underrated. That trade they pulled off for Jonnu Smith is going to be worth $1 million, dude. It is going to open up for the other kid, Pitts. Kyle Pitts. Yeah. You thought he was open last year? Wait till Jonnu Smith gets there. He knows Arthur Smith's offense. He excelled in it when he was at Tennessee. That's what got him the big contract in New England. So he knows that offense. He's going to excel, and he's going to open that up for Drake London. I really like Atlanta, dude. I really do. And then they got Jesse Bates to shore up that back end. They also
that was a good defensive sign.
That was a big sign. And they got some solid rookies on the defensive end for Atlanta
I do. I'm really high on Atlanta this year. I'm really high on Atlanta. I think Atlanta can win the division. I think the Saints will be second. But I think Tampa and Carolina play for third.
So you like the quarterback? You saw some stuff in Desmond Ridder?
Yeah, I did. And plus too, you got to remember that offensive line towards the end of the year last year started gelling really well. Like if you look at one possession games, dude, like the Falcons were in every game. They didn't get blown out.
That's true.
And they're one of the teams. They beat San Francisco last year when San Francisco was quote unquote good. So for me, I like the steps that they're going to take. The only issue they had really was in their division. They could not beat Tampa or Carolina or Tampa and New Orleans. They couldn't beat those two teams. I think this year they will be able to do so. Desmond Ridder, I think, will take that next step. I really do.
Okay. So what do you see putting him over the top, Mike? I mean, we talked about running back position here first. They can address that through free agency or a late round running back. What do you see in the draft where they're going to go? And what move would you make in the offseason as we look running back? Where would you go in the draft as well to put you over the top of this division?
If the Saints got to get over the top right now, I feel like they need to get a tight end.
Okay.
I really do. And believe it or not, I think they could get themselves a real good passing catching tight end because rumor has it that our old boy Zach Ertz might be getting his release. Wow. I think Zach Ertz going to New Orleans to go along with, Carr and, Olave, Thomas, if Thomas decides to play.
Right.
I think that could really help him. But the key thing is this: they got to get a good running back. Now, there's a ton of them out there. Deontay Foreman is good, but if I'm looking more or less along the lines, I want somebody like a Kareem Hunt or
you want a little bit bigger back.
A bigger back. I'll tell you what, Singletary could work out down there.
How about this, James Robinson?
James Robinson. I keep forgetting he's a free agent.
Yeah.
What's the other kid too? Montgomery from the Bears.
Yeah.
So I mean, either one of those guys that come in there, and don't sleep on Montgomery coming to the Birds either, because I got a feeling how he's going to try to bring him in. I don't know why, but something's telling me.
Mike, speaking of tight end, if Zerk gets released there and he comes to the Saints there, what kind of contract would you give him? I'm just asking, bro. I got a question behind that one.
I would give him like probably a 2-year deal, but I would give him like 5 or 6 mil. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because he could provide a lot better catching wise than you would a Taysom Hill. Like Taysom Hill could be Zach Ertz with draw coverage.
Okay.
And it would help out. It would help out Thomas. It would help out Olave. It would help out Taysom Hill if he lines up at tight end. Okay. So, yeah, I would definitely do that. I mean. Okay.
The reason why I'm saying that is because I was watching a Dallas program this morning, one of their news beat on their podcast, and they restructured a lot of deals. Zach Martin, Dak restructured deals. Zeke did it as well. So now they're under the cap pretty great, from $24 million down to we have like $13 million to play with now. That money tells me 2 things: Dalton Schultz or DeAndre Hopkins. And I don't beat Schultz. I think Schultz is going to be out. With Schultz, I know he would be a fit there. But is the possibility of the Saints getting Dalton Schultz?
They could.
Because he wants 10 to 12 million a year, but he wants a 3-year deal.
I don't think they're going to give him that. I don't think they have enough money to give him that. Mm-hmm. I think they can give Ertz the 5 to 6 million on a 2 to 3 year deal. Mm-hmm. As far as giving Schultz the 10 to 12 a year, they're not. They're just capped. Like when they were in cap hell, they're in cap hell for like the last 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
So.
TJ, we'll definitely get into that when we get to Atlanta. Here's a great question here. Maximal, does the division winner actually have a winning record? I think they do this year. I really do.
I think they do too. You know what?
They all were 7-10, except for Tampa Bay, 8-9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. You know who's going to have a bad division? I think. I don't think the NFC is going to have a division with a losing record. I think it's going to be the AFC. I really do. And I'll tell you right now, like, I'm not sold on the NFC North. Like, the NFC North is trash right now.
It's going to look kind of weird. Yeah, it's going to look kind of weird. Yeah.
Like, I know people are talking, they're all hype about the Bengals, but the Bengals are taking a beating in free agency.
Get an O-line for him, and then we could talk.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if they get an O-line, dude. They can't stop nobody. They lost both their starting safeties. They lost a cornerback. So, I mean, they lost a linebacker, so like they lost a lot of people in there, and that whole division is just really weird. Now, I would keep an eye on Cleveland over there because Cleveland's literally Deshaun Watson's like restructured his contract, which a lot of people, I don't know if you guys heard, he restructured some money, so they got like $30 million to go spend.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know what's going to happen with them. But then again, they were trying to get their running back to take a restructure. Chubb, yeah.
Hey, obviously we'll get back to the South, but like don't sleep on Pittsburgh though. I'll tell you what, because if Kenny Pickett develops, Mike Tomlin's a hell of a coach. I mean, you look at that team last year, they got off to a horrible start and they still wound up with a winning record. Mike Tomlin's never had a losing record.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say he's never had a losing record in his career.
Player, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That's true. I mean, I always forget about Tomlin being out there because he just goes about his business. You know what I mean? But I mean, maybe it'll be one team. But I'm not sold on Cincy. I'm not sold on Cleveland. I'm not sold on I'm not sold on Baltimore. Definitely is taking a step back.
I agree. I agree with that one.
PJ just said the same. He just said the same thing that we were all thinking. So yeah, but getting back to the South, like I said, for the Saints to do that, they got to add a tight end, they got to add a running back, and to be honest with you, I would feel safe for them actually adding a corner. Which, by the way, they got an early pick in that second round, so don't be shocked. Howie's good for doing this, but don't be shocked. I think the Eagles are trading out of that 30th pick. I really do. I think they're going to trade back into the second round because they don't have no thirds. They don't have no fourth. Right. Or they have 1/3, but they have no fourth, no fifths. So they're going to try and accumulate draft picks. I can definitely see them like trading with the Saints again and doing something. One of those teams that are like in the top 5, one of them are going to contact the Eagles at 30. You can almost guarantee it because they always try to come back up into the draft somewhere.
And you know what? I'm trying to say that a lot of people don't look at the 30th pick being really important, but there's a lot of people out there that agree with, like, okay, you have the second or third pick in the second round. You want to get back into that first round just to say, okay, we're back in the first round and take that first round pick. That's a prime spot, between 27 and 31. That's prime.
Can I give you the here's the scenario, right? If the Eagles went out and signed, I don't see the Eagles going running back in the first round, obviously. No. Okay. So if Gibbs from Alabama is there at 30, well, first off, a team may want to move up and get him because if you get him in the first round, you have the 5th-year option. So so if you take your running back in the second round, you only have him for 4 years. But if you get him, if you get a kid like that in the first round, you get the 5th-year option where you get his 5 best years. So that could be a marriage right there because, and it's kind of a bummer as an Eagles fan because I wouldn't have minded taking Gibbs, but I don't see the Eagles doing that. I think it's pretty obvious that this is going to be a highly defensive draft for
big time.
Yeah, I believe so too with that. And like I said, if they're still in on, like I said, a Kareem Hunt or whoever for the Birds, I think they're going to add another running back. I really do. I just don't know how long they're going to get it for. Like Penny, to me, Rashad Penny was an insurance policy. That's how I view
a cheap one. Yeah.
Do you very injury prone?
Our whole running back room is only $8 million.
Yeah, I know. Hell, we're paying $23 million for 2 backs.
Yep, and you know what, dude? Like Boston Scott had the best answer today. I heard his quote. Boston Scott was like, dude, he's like, I just didn't feel like going anywhere. Like, this is home.
Nice. That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, like Boston is cool. Matches. Yo, like I think he signed for like what, $2 million? He's like, look, dude, pay me $2 million. I'll score my 4 touchdowns against the Giants in 2 games.
Yeah,
and leave me alone.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why they call Philly that blue collar town. Isn't that correct? He's coming in to do your job, get your paycheck, and do your job, and get the fuck out. That's all you got to do.
And you know what? I also see the Saints doing. We keep going off track and going everywhere, but
it's out of the box, baby. It's out of the box.
I can see the Saints in their middle rounds. I can also see them taking offensive linemen too. They really do need to help build up that O line down there. So I can definitely see them definitely trying to get back into the trenches. So that's what I see from the Saints. I haven't seen their schedule yet, so like I don't know, but it's a 17-game schedule. I would imagine they're probably going to get about maybe 9 to 10 wins.
Okay.
But I think they finished second. I think Atlanta wins that division. I think Atlanta can win 11 games.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, you know what? We heard it from the NFC South here. Mike has the Saints here. He gave us his opinion on there. I think we're going to flip it down diagonally right down. I think we're going to the man with the Eagles colors on down there. So, Joe, where are we going with your team this week?
All right, so I'm going to do the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a really weird team because, the GOAT, we have the retirement of the GOAT. Is Baker Mayfield going to go? Is Baker Mayfield going to go there? If Baker Mayfield doesn't go there, you got Kyle Trask, quarterback out of Florida they took a couple years ago. I was reading a couple Tampa Bay blogs, and supposedly they like that kid, but I think they definitely bring in some competition for him. So let's go on the premise that Baker does go down there. All right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now Tampa has serious. We think New Orleans has salary issues. Tampa Bay has serious salary cap issues. But the one thing, very surprised at this. One of the top, everybody was talking about like Bradbury as one of the top corners in free agency. Well, the top corner in free agency was actually Tampa Bay's Jamel Dean.
Yes.
And Tampa Bay made a really good move. They signed him 4 years, $52 million, so they kept him in the fold.
Mm-hmm.
They have another corner that's a free agent, and Sean, I think his name's Bunning, Sean something.
Sean Budding.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to lose him because they kept Dean. Today they traded guard Shaq Mason and a seventh rounder to the Texans for a sixth rounder.
Yeah.
But looking at Tampa Bay, they're in transition, and I think a lot of people think they're going to take a step back. But I'll tell you what, looking at this division with the weapons that they have, if you tell me I could get a Baker Mayfield to possibly resurrect his career, what better opportunity does he have than to go down there and play with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin? You know?
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay's sitting at the 19th pick. And, we're talking about possibly the draft. Well, I was looking at a couple mock drafts, and some people have them getting a guy like a Broderick Jones from Georgia to possibly play left tackle.
Okay.
Tampa could also use an edge rusher, and Tampa could use a runner to go along with. They have that young runner that kind of came on a little bit towards the end of the year.
Yeah, Jones.
Yeah.
There you go. They moved on playoff Lenny. They moved on from playoff Lenny. He had a bad year. Leonard Fournette. I think he only averaged he barely averaged 3 yards a carry. That's something that Tampa really needs to improve. Their running game was absolute garbage and trash. So kind of interesting. We were talking about backs, and I'm speculating possibly offensive line, but Tampa sitting at 19 could be a prime spot for Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple mock drafts that got him going there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how do you think about Goodwin coming back off that huge injury the last game of the season? How do you feel about him coming back?
Well, I never feel 100% great about anybody coming back from an injury, but if he can come back, like I said, this NFC South is wide open, and I think a lot of people just assume Tampa Bay is going to take a major step back, but Mayfield, along with their weapons and keeping a guy like Jamil Dean, the division's wide open. I mean, honestly, I feel like you could flip a coin. In the NFC South, you could flip a coin because, like Mike said, I mean, I too, I like a lot of the things Atlanta did, but I'm not sold on Desmond Ridder. So that quarterback. Basically, everybody in the division has a quarterback question except for maybe the Saints. And they went out and got Derek Carr, but let's be honest, Derek Carr is a talented guy, but is he much different than like a Jimmy Garoppolo? I mean, Derek Carr means what? Maybe 8 to 10 wins max. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, Derek Carr, like him going to the Saints, a lot of people just anointed the Saints the best team in that division. And I'm like, dude, Carolina's got Andy Dalton. I would take Andy Dalton right now. To me, I'm not sold on Derek Carr. Like he had Devontae Adams, he had Hunter Renfrow, and he had one hell of a tight end in Darren Waller.
Mm-hmm.
And he had Josh Jacobs running the ball, and he still was.
Who just had a phenomenal All-Pro year.
Exactly. And where did it get them? They didn't reach the postseason.
Right.
So to me, how special is Derek Carr? Like I never understood that with him.
Mm-hmm. I think Tampa Bay is just looking at their roster. To me, of course, we're looking at a quarterback here. I mean, you got Blaine Gabbert, you got Kyle Trask, number 1 and 2. That's scary right there. If you can get a quarterback, a veteran, to come in and throw the ball, but then again, I mean, you got to look at the wide receivers. You have Mike Evans, a stud wide receiver. Godwin coming off that horrific injury. Julio Jones, man, I don't even know where the hell he's, what he does anymore, honestly. And then you got Scotty Miller, a slant receiver, like a Cole Beasley type receiver in the middle. But I think they have to go. Quarterback. They ride it out because I'm not sold on Kyle Trask. I'm really not. I mean, college he played great at Florida, but I don't know, man. I think they projected him to be like a Burrow with the weapons that he had in Florida. Honestly,
you're forgetting. Was it Perryman? Perryman's down there too, wide receiver.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm looking at like what they have versus what their roster looks at. I just don't believe to me, there's not even a 1-2 punch right now. To me, honestly, I think they go out. What do you think about DeAndre Hopkins going there? Maybe
they don't have the money.
I'm telling you, D-Hop.
How bad are they?
Their cap situation is. I mean, that was one of the reasons why they had to trade Shaq Mason. I mean, their cap situation. Their cap situation is horrendous. I mean, from what I was reading, I mean, people were actually a little surprised that they were able to keep their corner, Dean. Mm-hmm. That was actually a surprise. They thought maybe they were going to lose him. So I mean, they're seriously strapped. I mean, if Baker goes there, it's probably not a huge money deal, and he basically sees it as an opportunity. Here's I kind of got a question for you guys. Like, so I know we're talking South, and I hate to just always bring it back to the Eagles, but this ties in with Tampa Bay. Like, say the Eagles are sitting there at 10. Well, what if a Will Levis or somebody is sitting there at 10? That could be a prime spot where maybe Tampa Bay calls the Philadelphia Eagles and offers like 19 and a pick next year and maybe a middle pick or something to try to move up to get a young quarterback.
Oh yeah, the Eagles are set where they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been saying all along, I think Howie trades back twice. I really do, because I think they're going to get a corner. I think the only way, dude, that they pick a 10, that's if Jalen Carter's there. If Jalen Carter is there at 10, the Eagles are taking it.
Absolutely.
They're going to take him, and they're going to plug him right next to Jordan Davis.
His Jordan Davis, yes, so absolutely.
This way, because if you look at it, you'll have literally the Georgia trifecta, the Bermuda Triangle right there in the middle.
With Dean.
With Dan, and then adding Dean in.
Dean on the outside, exactly.
Yeah, how about Kazir White, too, leaving today to go to Arizona?
Yeah.
Foul Gannon, huh?
I'm not sure. That doesn't surprise me, though.
Yeah,
but Mike, I mean, I agree with you, but the only thing is, though, it takes two to tango. I think we kind of need one of those quarterbacks, or maybe an offensive lineman. Like, I could see a team like the Jets, maybe if there's a really good offensive lineman, maybe the Eagles can move from 10 to 13 if the Jets want, say, the kid from Ohio State or something.
Paris Johnson. I can see him going there.
Like, the Birds are in a great spot in both of their first round picks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They really are, because they're right at that spot where, like I said, one of the top 5 teams, they want to trade back into the first round. So the Eagles are right there with that spot. So they're good there, and they're also good at 10, because now, like you said, you got these teams that are 11, 12, 13 that are trying to get up to maybe get an offensive lineman. The Eagles can trade back, get some more draft capital.
Yeah.
So the Eagles are sitting good, I think, with that. My thing with Tampa, and it says on here, Shaquille Barrett also might be getting traded. That's a huge blow if they trade him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's on NFL.com. I'm looking at it right here. Shaquille Barrett might be getting traded from
Not only
Tampa
that,
Bay.
Levante David, I believe, is going to
be
and
Levante David.
You know what I mean?
Both of them.
Huge.
Both of
them. Solid player.
Levante David is actually, he's in like slave protocol. He can go try to find a trade.
Yeah.
I think he's a free agent.
Oh, he's a free agent, Levante David?
Yeah, he's a free agent. Yeah, he's like the top rated linebacker as a free agent. He's just a little old, but I mean, somebody
serviceable
would bring him in.
Shaq Barrett's ready to go, so he can go somewhere too. So I mean, like I said, if you looked around, like, and we're all NFC East fans because Paul's a Cowboys fan, us three were Birds fans. I'll tell you what, our division's been active. I thought the Cowboys picking up Gilmore was a great pickup.
Yeah,
I thought
got
that was
cheap for cheap too, very cheap,
very cheap. But
the funny thing, Mike, not to get off subject here. I put on our group chat that pick turned out to be. You remember what it was from? The Amari Cooper trade.
Sorry, pick.
It turned out to be rights from the Amari Cooper trade.
Okay, so basically you flipped Amari Cooper for Gilmore, which isn't bad.
Half the price. Yep, 2 years, half the price.
Right, and then you look at the Giants. They go out, they get Darren Waller today to go with the young tight end they have there now.
Bellinger, yeah.
Bellinger. Like, so that makes the Giants a little bit better now on offense. It gives Danny Jones somebody else to throw to.
And you know what? If he can stay healthy, it's going to be a really big outcome for him because with Daniel Jones running the RP ball with Barkley, and they got a young wide receiver core that can run the ball, through slants, deep routes. I think it's going to open up. And it all comes down to Darren Waller being healthy, man.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, they got two really good young tackles too, and Thomas and the kid they got, and Evan Neal. Yeah. So like you're looking at it like I look at it like this. I don't look at it as the Eagles are falling back to the division. I look like the division is coming up, and
you're exactly right. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Everybody's stacking the chips, and nobody's falling down.
Right. Like I said, Dallas is going to be a team too. Like I said, I think they take a step back defensively. I mean, even though they were able to re-sign Donovan Wilson, I thought that was great. Huge. That was. I wanted the Eagles to go after him. If we couldn't get Johnson back, that's who I want to go after.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
For Danny Pesos. Yeah.
Damn, he ain't no Danny Dimes anymore. He's Danny Pesos. Damn.
TJ got to hit my son up with that line.
Damn right. Yeah. Yeah, but I'll go with Joe. I'm sorry, Joe. What now? You're the GM here. Where are we going with the draft here? What are you looking for? Do you believe in? Can you get another quarterback versus a Kyle Trask and a Gabbert? Where do you go in your first round here?
You know what? I don't. That's a tough one, man. You know what? I think honestly, here's what I would do if I were Tampa Bay. To be truthful, now this is hard.
Call Tom Brady. Call Tom Brady again.
No. So this is hard to do in the NFL because you're asking grown men in a physical sport. You really can't ask grown men to lay their bodies on the line and tank, right. But you can set up your team to kind of suck. So here's what I'm thinking, right?
Caleb.
If I'm Tampa Bay, I am rolling with Kyle Trask. Mm-hmm. And if he can play, okay, he can play. If he totally fucking blows, sucks, okay, then I'm going into the draft with a top 2 or 3 pick next year, and I'm either taking Caleb Williams or the kid from North Carolina, and I'm starting a new era. And honestly, if I May, Drake May, yeah. So I'm going. That's what I would do if I were Tampa Bay. Now, I think it's more likely that they bring in a guy like Baker Mayfield because, like I said, look at what Lovie Smith did this year. I mean, you really can't ask grown men to go out there and
exactly.
Mm-hmm. This isn't the NBA, and it's not Sam Hinkie. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Agreed.
But yeah, you put the GM hat. That's what I'm doing.
There you go. All the Buck fans out there, if Joe's your GM, your ass is tanking this year. Look, Kyle Trask, it's on you, buddy. You shit the bed, it's okay. We got a draft pick next year. You play great, we got a franchise QB. So Joe Sullivan has spoken the word.
Well, think of it. If you're a Tampa Bay fan, you sign Baker Mayfield, okay, what are you going to do? Win 7 games? I mean, what good's that get you? That's like kissing your sister. You know what I'm saying? What's that do? Seriously. What does that do? For me, I would rather win. If I'm a Tampa Bay fan, I just won the Super Bowl a couple years ago. I just got to watch for 3 solid years. I had a competitive team. I had a nice run. Yeah, would it really suck to win 2 or 3 games this year? Yeah, of course it would. But you know what? That's why they make red zone and betting and fantasy. So you know what? If I'm a Tampa fan, I'm like, hey, you know what? Focused on red zone, focused on fantasy. Maybe we could develop some young talent, get out of this salary cap hell, and I'm drafting my young quarterback that hopefully is the man and lasts me 10 to 15 years.
Okay.
Man, got a little bit of an update for you. Cleveland Browns actually took they actually took the defensive tackle, Joe, me and you were talking about last night on your show. Dalvin Tomlinson signed a 4-year deal with the Browns. That
happened last night before I went to bed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just seeing it now. Oh, and Aguilar's drawing interest from the Cowboys. So, Paul, you guys might be getting Nelson Aguilar.
Hey, listen, at this point, I'll take anybody in the slot, right now. To be honest with you.
I got my Twitter. I'm looking to see what some of the deals that got done today.
Mm-hmm.
And one I saw that was pretty good. That this is actually kind of DJ Chark and the Panthers look like they might be nearing a deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
That kind of makes sense considering they just traded their other wide
DJ
receiver.
Moore. They just traded
DJ Moore
Yeah,
to Chicago.
So they're going to trade one DJ and try and bring in another. So, but
well, what are your expectations this year, Joe? Where do you sit? I mean, Mike has the Falcons winning division. I'll get to that. What I feel about that, but what are your division wrap up here, and where do you think your record sits this year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Yeah, I mean, I have no clue who my quarterback is, so I'm going to say Tampa's middle of the road. I say they're third in the division, maybe slightly ahead of Carolina.
Okay.
So I say Tampa goes down to about 5 wins.
Wow. Okay. So who do you have first? You have the Saints first. You're going Saints first. Falcons.
I'm going Saints, but just because I don't believe in Desmond Ritter, and I don't believe in Heineke. So
Yeah.
I'm not. You know what's funny? Actually, a year from now, that's interesting. Atlanta's kind of following my model of what I say the Tampa Bay should do. If you think about it, I mean, unless they go quarterback at 8, I mean, I'll let you touch on that when you do them. But yeah, I mean, they're kind of following the same path. It's like, all right, we're going to roll with this young guy and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true because he's still on a 2-year window, basically 2 or 3 year window with Ritter. So it's like up in the air with him. So I don't know. It could be a tank season, Joe. I'll get to that. Just like your situation. Hey, Kyle Trask could be Desmond Ritter. Roll with them. If not, he's a scapegoat. Very simple.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, let's switch this over here. Let's talk about some Carolina Panthers here, and let's go to Sean down there. And he is old enough to be a breaking reporter. He doesn't look like it anymore, but he can be a reporter. He is legal age. Yep. So Sean, break it down. Let's give us some Panther talk here, brother.
First and foremost, the big news was them trading the first pick with Chicago.
Whew.
And
you're on the clock, Sean.
Pretty clutch. So where do they go from here? Obviously, the choice is probably quarterback because Darnold just signed with the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Matt Corral, 62nd pick from last year's draft, injured all last season as a backup. But I think him and the rookie, whoever it may be, are going to fight it out for the starting spot.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Nah, because they signed Andy Dalton.
Oh yeah,
I think Dalton's going to be the starter. It's going to be a clipboard holder, between Corral and if you go first round pick, with the quarterback here, whoever it may be.
Okay.
I don't see that. That whole having a veteran quarterback and the rookie holding a clipboard. When was the last time that happened though? I feel like if the guys that go number 1 seem to play right away anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to. They got Matt Corral there. Like, I'm not ready to throw the towel in on him. I don't think they're taking a quarterback 1. I think they're going to go. I think they're going to go defense. I think they're going to take that linebacker from Alabama.
Will Anderson.
Yeah. Like, I think they're going to. That's why they traded up there. They got everybody in the world thinking that they're going to take a quarterback. I don't.
Sean, I'll go to you. If I'm sitting there, 8, and I want the number 1 pick. Is there a possibility that the Panthers might get a little bit more asset from this trade since the retrade here? What do you think about that? Is that the possibility?
Absolutely, yeah. Do it. Get those more. The situation that they're in, they're like in rebuilding mode. To me. So yeah, why not?
The reason why I asked that is, you decide Andy Dalton if you want to go Corral or you want to go Dalton, go there and just run him as a scapegoat. Build some more asset for next year. You might be a lottery pick next year, 2 to 5, 2 to 1 to 5, or wherever you may be. You'll gain 4 or 5 picks this year. Why not?
True. Now they need a wide receiver, obviously, like Joe and Mike touched on. DJ Moore left, went to Chicago, traded. So bring in mind DeAndre Hopkins. Could you guys see him going there or draft a wide receiver? I see them drafting a wide receiver, and I see that Quentin Johnson from TCU.
Little speedster, okay.
Yeah, tall body, 6'4", and They need linebacking help. They need it from offensive, defensive help.
Well, their defensive line's pretty good.
Yeah, they got Brian Banks, the guy that we were supposed to trade for.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're pretty solid. Focus on inside linebacker. They need corner. But yeah, I mean, Frank Reich's going to actually, I think, bring them back up to speed. But he has to get his quarterback, and he has Dalton, like Mike said, Matt Corral. So I think it's a toss-up. Let them fight it out, and it remains to be seen what they do with that number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you guys? I mean, I can't imagine. I get what you're saying, but I can't imagine you traded all those assets to not go quarterback, though. I mean, to me, I don't think so, dude. Unless you think Will Anderson's like Lawrence Taylor. I mean, when was the last time a team moved that far up though to get a?
Dude, he was the consensus number 1 anyway. He was the number 1 pick in the draft.
He would have been number 1 pick last year if he was able to come out.
Right,
That's and
and everybody and their mom had Chicago taking him, so he's going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. So that's why you move what you move to go get him, and I think he can be. I mean, he's not just a linebacker, dude. He can cover. He can come in. He can come off the line of scrimmage. Like, he is, like, legit. Like, he may be the next coming of Lawrence Taylor. I'm not saying he is, but what I'm saying is he's a game changer.
Okay.
And you put him on that Carolina defense opposite side of Burns.
Are we talking like a Luke Kuechly recoming here?
No, not Luke Kuechly. Like, I'm talking like Hassan Reddick from a year ago.
Okay.
Like, he can come off the edge, but he's Hassan Reddick, but he can actually go out and do pass coverage.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like a 5-tool linebacker, man, coming off that edge. And I'll tell you what, like I said, you put him opposite of Brian Burns, Carolina's already got a good defensive line.
And you know what, Mike? It kind of makes sense to me what you're saying now. I'm listening to you here speak about it. Chicago played their hand right. They didn't need a quarterback. They have Justin Fields. So the obvious choice could be either the solid defensive tackle, O-tackle, but when you got a fundamental player like, the Anderson out there, that's consensus number 1. And you think about it, maybe this tells me that Carolina, we could get a quarterback at 2, 3, and 4 right now between Stroud, Levis, and Young. We don't have to go up to number 1. So it tells me now that maybe you're right. Maybe they're thinking, we want Will Anderson. There's other teams that maybe 2 and 3 that need that quarterback. We got to jump them to get Will Anderson. Maybe we have to give up the farm to get it. I see what you're saying regarding that. But just like Joe said, when was the last time a linebacker went number 1?
Yeah.
Well, he was going to go number 1 this year. Like, regardless, whoever has that number 1 pick, that's who Will Anderson's going to. So I can see why they moved up.
Was the last pass rusher to go number 1, and he's worked out really good. He's a dominant player for Cleveland.
Yeah.
But like I said, this kid Anderson, he can do both. He can rush the passer, and he can come off that edge like nobody can. Like, he was dominant, but he can also pay. He can also, like, you could stick him on a tight end, and he can cover a tight end down the field. So, with that being said, like, I see why Carolina gave up what they got. They weren't going to be able to keep DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
They knew that. He was a throw-in that pick. Like, this is all Frank Reich's moving. Like, I like the direction that they're going in. Like I said, they have Matt Corral there. There's a reason why they drafted him last year. They're not going to draft another quarterback this year. You know what I mean? Corral's got the same build, almost like what a Wentz had here with Frank Reich, except Corral's got a stronger arm than Wentz.
Yeah.
And he's more accurate down the field. So he's just he's like Carson Wentz on steroids.
Who's Carolina's running back, the starting running back?
Was Deontay Foreman.
Yeah.
But he's a
Who is it
free
now?
agent.
Yeah, and who is it now if he leaves? Who would it be now? I'm not even looking at the roster.
I'm not looking at roster. I'm looking at free agents. I see like a Jamal Williams would fit very well down there.
Okay.
Well,
The reason why I'm saying that is because Matt Corral, when he played at Ole Miss, he was a running gun guy under Lane Kiffin.
Mm-hmm.
And he's to me like just like Mike said, like a Wentz build, but he's like a Ritter to me. He's a poor man's Jalen Hurts that can run an RPO that has a huge arm, big arm. And I think at the right system, he could fit. That's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm asking who that running back would be, because this system. But Reich is not a RPO guy to me, though.
No, but Deuce Staley is, and Deuce Staley's his offensive coordinator.
Okay, so he's going to have full control of the play calls. Okay.
Yeah. Reich believe it or not, is I think he actually learned something from being in Indy. He's not calling plays. That's why he went out and hired Deuce Staley. He told Deuce Staley, "You're the offensive coordinator. I'm the head coach." So I think Carolina's. I don't think they're going to be as bad as a lot of people think they're going to be.
Okay.
But like I said, I think that whole NFC South is kind of like us last year. We're just going to beat up on each other. So
it's funny because I actually liked Matt Corral coming out in the draft last year. I kind of thought he was a little bit of a sleeper, and then he got hurt. He got hurt. He never got his opportunity.
Yes.
I mean, Mike, I can't say I disagree with you. I mean, I do love Will Anderson. My only argument is I just can't imagine that they wouldn't be taking a quarterback. That's all. I mean, I get what you're saying though.
From what they gave up, we're looking at it that way. Like they gave up a farm for a linebacker, the best player in the draft. But I get what they're saying. What you're saying, Mike. You know what? Okay, you ride with Matt Corral. You ride with him this year. He's still a second-year QB. We don't know what he is yet. Ride with him. But let's go out and get the best defensive player, like a Micah Parsons type generational player. Let's go out and get him first. Solidify the linebacker spot, the captain, the QB on defense. Hey, if it doesn't work out, shit, we can be the top 2 pick next year. We can go out and get that quarterback next. Let's go out and get that Caleb.
Yeah, but that's kind of my point though, Paul. They traded their first round pick next year.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They did. You're right.
You know what I mean? So to me, like if you kept your first round pick next year, then I understand what you're saying because it's almost like what we were saying with Tampa Bay and Atlanta, where you roll with a young guy, give it a year try, and see what he can do. But literally. I mean, you're Carolina. You gave up your opportunity at Caleb Williams or the kid from North Carolina.
Yeah, you're riding the dice now. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that I mean, I can understand why they do that. They got Matt Corral. This kid is their future. This is why they drafted him. So to me, like, yeah, I would give up next year's number 1. And listen, that's the price of doing business. Like they moved up from 8 to 1.
9. They were at 9.
From 9 to 1, you got to give up 2 1s and 2 2s. Like that's the asking price. So to me, I look at it as they're putting their stock in there, and that's why I think they signed Andy Dalton because Andy Dalton can be that mentor to Matt Corral this year and going forward. They're not going to just cut bait with Matt Corral. I that would be stupid to cut bait with him. The kid's a good quarterback. And I think he's better than any quarterback that's coming out of this draft.
I agree with that point we just said. If we're looking at both sides of the ball here, you give up the first pick this year, first pick next year, and a 2 coming up as well. I think that there is no quarterback worth that kind of pick this year. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Levis. I don't think any quarterback is worth that this year. I really don't.
Exactly. That's my point. Like, nobody in this draft is worth that capital. When I saw that, and plus they threw in their number 1 wide receiver to go with it, that told me everything I needed to know about they were going after Anderson. I was like, dude, they're going after this kid because they want him for that defense to put him alongside of Burns and the rest of that defensive line. Don't forget, too, like their quarterbacks ain't too bad either in Carolina, or their secondary is not too bad.
Jeremy Chin.
Right. So they're right there. As CJ saying, they're working out Adam Thielen tomorrow.
Right.
So you get him and DJ Chark coming in there. They just need somebody to run the balls. You know what I mean? I really do. I don't think I think PJ Walker will be released. I don't think he will be there. It'll be Corral.
He's going to be gone.
I'll tell you where he may end up. You may see him go down to Houston.
He'll be in the XFL next year.
Who's that?
PJ Walker.
PJ Walker. Yeah.
I thought he did okay for what was.
Listen, I loved him at Temple, man. Look, he played his ass off at Temple. I love the kid, but listen, I think he's like an XL quarterback. You know, he'll make probably more money over there. Like, really, you think about it.
And then you got free agent wise with Carolina. I can see them getting Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, Mike. A lot of people like
I think.
Now, how's Carolina with the salary cap? I really haven't looked at the salary cap.
They're pretty good, man. I think they're pretty straight. Like they can go out and spend some money. Mm-hmm. If I remember right, I think they're up around the
28.1.
Wow,
they got some change to play with. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say around 30. I thought I was about to say around 30 million, but
you can go out. You already got your veteran QB very cheap. You got Dalton on a little contract there. You go out and you get a solid wide receiver. Let's say Hopkins goes out there. Let's say they sign Thielen for 2 years, $10 million, if that. Let's get him there. You still got $18 million to play with. That's a solid tight end.
Bro, you're not even talking about a running back yet. Like you're talking about, Robinson, Hunt, You know, it's Miles Sanders. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Deuce wouldn't mind grabbing Miles Sanders.
Yeah, I think he would be fine there. It's a nice solid back. I mean, I think they'll utilize him. Yeah, he'll utilize him.
You got the 3 running backs from Miami that were down there. They're all free agents. Mostert and
Mostert
and one of them got
Jeff Wilson just re-signed with Miami.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that though, because I was picking up lunch today or yesterday, and they had the NFL Network on, and they actually said there was a fantasy guy on there, and he said Miles Sanders makes Carolina's one of the places that he would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that would make some sense.
I could see Sanders going down there. I really can, and especially now with Moser and Smith. What's it, James?
Jeff Wilson.
Jeff Wilson Jr. Yeah, seeing them two resign in Miami, because that was another destination for Miles. So you know his spots are drying up. It's like, to me, I see Miles going, you know, either Carolina or Denver.
Yeah.
You know, either or. But I would probably his familiarity with Deuce and with I don't know, he wasn't here when Frank was here, but his, you know, I know he's familiar with Deuce. Deuce was his coach, so I can see him going down there and signing, and he would help them out. Like I said, this whole division, dude, is just going to be. It's kind of like how we were. Yeah. It's going to be like how we were last year. Our division is where everybody's beating up on everybody.
It's funny you say that before, Sean. You give us your final standings for this year, but just like you said, this with our division last year, what we looked at versus this year, we know where we sit, where we are. It's Eagles are at the cream of the crop, but you're not taking a downfall. We're coming up to you. That's what's happening with our division here. But in this division here, it's all going to come down to a couple pieces in the draft to put one team over the top in the NFC South. That's the way it's coming down to be. We don't know what's going to happen, but one pick, one trade could put one team from the bottom to the top of this division.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Sean. What do you got for this division, though? Where are you standing at? Who's number 1 to 4 here?
Saints obviously are going to be number 1.
Okay.
And then 2, Atlanta. We'll get to, and then I think I'm going to take it. You got Joey at 3, and then I think kind of rebuilding process with Carolina. I'm at the bottom of the bunch.
All right, so where are you going to end up next year in the draft? What's going to be a pick? What's a record for you in a pick? Where are you going to go next year? Are you going to go to take the quarterback next year, or what are you going to do if you're the GM here? Sean, they don't have to pick. Well, Sean, you're fucked then. I'm very sorry. Okay.
Yes, I am.
Okay. You just lost out on Caleb Williams. You just lost out on Marvin Harrison Jr. You lost everybody.
Cry in my pillow. Yeah. So I mean, basically, yeah. I mean, just see what they go from here, man. I mean,
okay, all right.
Yeah, and the way Sean's looking tonight, he can't grind his beer. He don't look old enough to drink one.
Yeah.
No, I know.
I'm drinking water.
Oh, see, there you go. There you go. Your age is showing tonight. You're drinking water because you're age appropriate there, brother. You know? There you go.
We almost recognize the new guy when he popped.
I know. I'm like, who's this kid? Did I invite the wrong Sean? What the hell? Oh, shit. I'm going to go to jail for this child bait here. You know? All right. Let's get into the last team.
Yeah, man.
The Atlanta Falcons, okay? I had to go in the closet. I had to bring out one of my favorite players here.
Jersey.
You know, with my work done jersey.
Good old work done.
Yeah, number 28 here. But first to me, let's talk about the QB. Mike, I know you already talked about Desmond Ridder. I am not sold on Desmond Ridder.
Me either. I think he sucks.
Nah, they hyped him up, man. I know he had a great
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, yeah. And they took the hype train and they drafted him.
I'll get the Mike. I think he was a product of a lesser schedule at Cincinnati. Is that final year when they were the BCS team. I think he was a product of a less schedule. I don't think he's an NFL ready quarterback. I think he could be a starter on some teams, and this is probably where he's going to start. But listen, I just like Joe said, I think Derek Carr is an 8 to 10 game winner. Desmond Ridder to me is maybe a 4, 5, 6 top, winner by talent wise. Mike, I want to ask you, what do you see in Desmond Ridder? What do you see to make me go on to believing? Because Taylor Heineke is a backup for a reason.
True. I will say that, but Taylor Heineke has also came in this league and also won in this league. Like that dude came into our house this year. We had an undefeated team, and he beat us here. He beat us here. Mm-hmm. So I'm not taking him lightly. Him being there, he's going to help Desmond Ridder. Okay, that's number one. Number two, Arthur Smith went out and got people that is familiar with his offense. Like I said,
Jonnu Smith.
Jonnu Smith is going to help them out. He's going to help them out greatly because now you can't double team, Kyle Pitts. You can't double team Drake London. Mm-hmm. Okay, you can't double team the guy. You can't double team Corral Patterson. You know what I'm saying? This is going to open it up for them. And I think Desmond Ritter's going to take the next step. If you watched him, did you think he may have benefited the last year? Probably. But did you watch Desmond Ridder his junior year? He was like, you think he's awful now. He was worse than that. He got better. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. I mean, you're looking at a product from college to NFL. We all know it's a different game, different breed here.
It is, but like what I'm saying is, I see the same maturation process in him that I saw in Jalen Hurts. This kid puts work in. You know,
I'm not ready to compare him to a Jalen Hurts. Not physically wise. I'm talking mentally capability because Jalen Hurts is a different breed. We all know his story of what he did there and to get better what he did.
Yeah, but a year ago, these same questions that you're bringing up now about Desmond Ridder, the whole world was bringing up about Jalen.
Right, that's what I mean. I can't compare Desmond Ridder to the mentality of a Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was we have to wait and see. We sure do. Yeah, exactly.
But I think the kid can take the next steps. He can make all the throws. Mm-hmm. He can make that kid's got an arm, dude. Like I don't care. I don't care that he played for Cincinnati. Like I mean, dude, Luke Fickell got a job at Wisconsin because
I think Mike, the reason why I don't like him because I think Sean can attest to this, Joe can attest to this. He beat my Irish.
See, there you go. You damn Golden Nose.
I didn't want to say that, but I had to.
If that's the case, I would have been hating every friggin' Ohio State quarterback for the last 10 years.
To Mike's point though, the kid did improve as the year went on. Like his last start against Tampa Bay, he went 19 out of 30 for 224, 2 touchdowns, averaged 7.5 yards per completion. His first start, it was his first start. He played at the Saints. He was only 13 out of 26 for 97 yards. So he was 3.7 for completion. So he obviously got better.
He was running for his life too behind that offensive line. He was running for his life a lot of times too.
Right, and they also upgraded their offensive line. So,
right, which they just signed Chris Lindstrom to a huge, massive deal. Yeah. Huge.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. This is why I picked Atlanta because if you take a look at Atlanta was a game behind Tampa last year. Mm-hmm. They were a game behind Tampa last year.
Now,
with everything that was going on.
Before we go on we're talking more about the Atlanta team here. He was released today. Where does he go, real quick? Can he fit in anywhere in the NFC South here? Matt Ryan, Matty Ice.
I think he goes to a couch somewhere. I think he's done.
I think he is too.
I think he is done.
Yeah, it's sad to say. I mean, he was one of my favorite quarterbacks. Watching him play, he's a Philadelphia guy, North Penn, basically. We're not North Penn, but Penn Charter. I'm sorry, Penn Charter. Yeah,
Charter, Boston College.
Yep. Funny thing is, I'll tell you real quick. My kid played at Father Judge one year, and then before he went to prep. But his freshman year, Tommy Coyle was the head coach. I don't know if you guys know who he is. Yeah. He actually was at Penn Charter during Matt Ryan's freshman year and cut him. And said he'll never be a great quarterback anywhere, not even high school, college. Yeah, right.
Speaking of Matt Ryan, like I think he signs, and I'm gonna tell you where. I think he goes to Jacksonville and backs up Sunshine.
That's a little bit of different kind of QB, don't you think? I mean, you're looking at night and day, right? One with no wheels, like you're talking. Sunshine's mobile, man. Matt Ryan.
He is, but I mean,
he gets out of bed. He can't tie his shoes. He can't even, move that far to tie his shoes anymore.
Yeah, but Doug's not going to ask him to run the ball. So I'm thinking about that. Was Nick Foles a running quarterback? No.
Yeah, if he goes cheap, he goes cheap. Yeah, definitely if he goes cheap.
But who's their backup down there? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no backup.
Right about
they need somebody, and Matt Ryan, and he was just with the Colts. So it's not like he doesn't know the division.
I got you. I agree with that. Now, let me go into running backs here. You mentioned Cordell Patterson, a man who can do it all, okay? Wide receiver converted to a hybrid type running back, which I love. He's one of my fantasy guys. I love taking him into fantasy, catching the ball out of the backfield, running the ball. How do you feel on Tyler Allinger? He's a big back,
BYU back, bruising back.
I mean, last year he showed so many expectations in games, but he disappeared in a lot of games as well. And to me, he showed me that he can't carry the rock 3 downs. He's not that type back. And Patterson is a 1-2 punch. But how do you guys feel about Allinger? I'm not sold on him. I'm really not.
I like him. I think he's a big bruiser.
I get that. Yeah.
I know, but I mean, like, I think he can be. Like, you know, it all depends on how they were using him too. Like I said, don't sleep on the Falcons. And the reason why I'm saying don't sleep on the Falcons is Derrick Henry's up for a trade.
I wanted to bring that up. You know,
like we were talking this whole time about running backs and everybody's bringing up Austin Eckler. Like, don't sleep on the Atlanta Falcons going after Derrick Henry. And again, that's familiar foe in Arthur Smith's offense.
And not only this, Dalvin Cook is also
Dalvin Cook as well.
It's crazy scenarios.
I think Dalvin Cook stays because they just restructured Mr. Primetime, Kirk Cousins over there. They saved $14 million on the cap this year, so they have a little bit of money to bring Cook back. I think he stays.
I think Cook's going to Cincy.
There's so much like going on, like we said earlier, guys. Like the Mixon situation.
Right. Exactly. Kamara's
Well, here's the thing. Like Mixon wasn't even finishing the games for Cincinnati this year.
It was P-Run.
Yeah, it was P-Run. Yeah, like he was finishing games. So if he's finishing the games, like, you know, they're going to cut Mixon. I really do. I think Mixon's getting cut.
I can't cut him, man. He's a solid back.
I think, like you said earlier, Mike, they're going to cut their ties and trade them. Get their worth.
I mean, they may. I mean, now if I'm the Birds, I would definitely put a thing in there. I don't care that he shoots kids. Like, come here, you can shoot all the kids. I'll bring him to the house.
That's a positive.
I can see it now. Eagles tickets. There's going to be a little thing at the bottom there. Do not show up to the game with young kids because Joe Mixon is loaded and ready. You know what I mean?
Right. Halloween time. I'll tell them. Let's go see a scary farm.
Could you imagine as a fan? I'm a type fan, like I do my homework. I know what you're about. Mike, if you got an issue, I'm going to come at you with your issue at a game. Can you imagine next year when wherever Mixon's at, how many Nerf guns are you going to see at the stadium?
Oh, I know.
Think about it.
And like bullseye targets, man.
Exactly right.
Remember the Bills fans when they threw the adult. I'll say, to be politically correct, I'll say the adult toys at Tom Brady. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Remember they threw all the Waldos out there.
No, listen. We have a friend of me and TJ. We have a friend in our chat room that we tease about that all the time. Her name is Lynn. And every time we say that she's like, "Oh, I'm going to a Bills game." We're like, leave your friend at home. Stop throwing it on the field.
I know, right?
Oh my God! But Mike, Joe, I'll go to you real quick. We were talking about Tyler Allinger. I love Cordell Patterson as a back, hybrid back, little small guy for a running back, big size, height wise. But how do you feel about Tyler Allinger? I'm not sold on him yet. I don't think he could be a 3-down back. He's a punisher, like Mike said, but that's one of my downfalls is Tyler Allinger.
Yeah, no, I question whether he could be a 3-down back as well. Now, I think I thought, I mean, he showed out a little bit last year where he's definitely could be a good part of a rotation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I'm not sold.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go to the wide receivers here. Drake London, Demaria Brown, Bird, and Zach Uriaris. I can't even say his last name. Basically, I think they need help here at wide receiver. I think they go wide receiver first round. I mean, I like the guy Quentin Johnson from TCU.
Yes.
You have Drake London, a high flyer, size wise. I think you need that one player in the middle to give you like a slot receiver type guy, and I think Quentin Johnson would be perfect here. Either that, or I'm going to USC wide receiver. I'm drawing a blank.
Addison.
Exactly. I like those two guys right there if he's available right away.
He will be.
What do you guys think there?
Either of those guys should be available at 8. I mean, I don't see a receiver. So it's kind of a question if you're Atlanta and you're not going quarterback and or whatever. I mean,
can we drop?
What's that?
Can we drop down a little back? If Addison's there and Quentin Johnson's there, listen, hey, you know what? Well, nobody's taking them. There's still needs at offensive tackle. There's still needs. We're okay there. How about we just slip back maybe to 12 to 14, drop a little bit, and pick up a second round pick? Why not? Build the asset, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at a team like the Jets at 13. Maybe a team like the Jets wants to move from 13 to 8. You go and you pick up some more assets, and then 13 is a prime spot for a wide receiver.
Yeah, I don't think the Jets are going to do that because whoever Aaron Rodgers wants to go out and get, they're going to get through the free agency or trades. I don't think they're going to do any draft moves with his ass. I mean, he's calling the shots.
Yeah,
Right?
wish list.
Yeah,
He's calling the shots.
Dude, my man was like, listen, before I get here, I need you to get this. And Joe Douglas is like, okay. So now we have the New York Packers.
Well, he's going to announce that tomorrow, probably on
the Pat McAfee show.
On Pat McAfee show.
Yeah, because
it's
he
like
said,
the worst. It's like the worst kept speech.
welcome.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you guys seen this comment, but TJ broke breaking news. Did you guys see the comment about 15 minutes ago?
No.
Let me say.
This is funny as shit.
Oh.
Wow. No, that's one dude right now that's probably doing backflips.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be this biggest slap in the face? Okay, Mercedes Lewis, Randall Cobb, they already got Lazard. Okay, what if they go and get these guys and then on the show tomorrow, I'm staying in Green Bay.
That would be hysterical.
What? How many Joe Mixon guns will be out there in Green Bay? Think about that.
Oh my God,
a lot.
But let's get real quick back to the Falcons real quick. Let's talk about the offense. I think their defense is pretty good there. But Kyle Pitts, Johnny Smith, I think that's a great pickup. I love that pickup, like you said, Mike. Product of the system there with Arthur Blake's system. But to me, I think it's quarterback, running back to me, and they got to go wide receiver in their first round. But the offensive line is solid. Jake Matthews, Chris Lindstrom is a huge pickup. They just signed him to a 5-year deal. He's solidified that side. I think they're okay there, but I'm not sold on Ritter. I'm really not. But I like the division where they stand because one game out last year behind Tampa Bay. You know, I really believe they can be there. But I'll give you my final standings real quick. I had the Saints number 1. I think they've done enough. I do like Atlanta at 2. I like the Bucs at 3. Carolina's a rebuild process for me. But it's all going to be through the draft, and it's still through free agency. There's a lot of moves that can be made. But this division is up for grabs. Whoever wants it can take it. Because the best quarterback in the league is Carr in their division.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I know we were talking about needs, but if you're sitting there at 8, if Jalen Carter's there, can you pass him up?
That's a crazy question. I mean, if that falls to me, Joe, I think he does fall because the BS we all know about his issue. You know, mm-hmm. I don't know. I to me as a GM, as a fan, I don't want to say as a GM, as a fan, I can't pass up a generational talent like that.
And he's a local kid too.
Yeah, I understand what you did in college. You made a bonehead mistake, which we talked about last week. You made a mistake, man. Don't hold that against the kid. He's not going to be a product of that on the field when he comes to the NFL. To me, Joe, if he's there, I'm going to be on the phone with everybody behind me saying, "Hey, look, I'm going Jalen Carter here. What will it take for you to give me to get this pick? How far can I drop building more assets? If I get the best deal, I'll look who's behind Jalen Carter to grab, but I don't know. That's a good question. Do you take talent?
How about Philadelphia sitting there at 10? You know, if
Fuck no.
So no, okay. So but
don't hate.
So let's look at this. Let's look at this, right? If you're Atlanta and you roll with Desmond Ritter this year, okay. You might want to have more draft capital in 2024 in case you want to move up to get a Caleb Williams, okay? So let's say and with the Eagles getting a lot of comp picks next year and having 2 second-round picks, you know, maybe Philadelphia, Howie Roseman calls you up and says, "Hey, look, you're only moving down 2 spots, and I'll give you I'll give you a third, a 3, and a 5 next year or something like that." You know what I'm saying?
Let me get in my mood real quick because I got to take away all the Dallas shit in my room. Let me think about that. If I'm on the phone and Howie calls me, number one, I'm gonna fucking have like sweat going down my face because I know I'm about to get fleeced. Number one, I know that fucking for real. You know, Howie's on the phone. He's like, you know, "Paul, this is what I'm going to give you." I'm like, probably shaking like this, like, "Oh, whatever it is, I'm getting fucked." But I do like that. I mean, I do like that, but I kind of like that because I know the picks that you guys have next year. and you guys are in control of the draft, sitting where you're at right now at 9-30. So there is some picks that I can gain for next year. And if I want to ride with Desmond Ridder, I think I could do it. I think I could do this year because this division is up for grabs. And if I can rebuild, because I know Carolina's rebuilding. I know the Saints have their quarterback. They're building. They're there. Tampa Bay, they're questionable. So I think this is a product that, you know what, I can build for my future through the draft picks. I can see that. I can definitely see that because I think a lot of teams can do that. Carolina could shock us with the number one pick trading out and gaining and gaining. You know, maybe they want maybe they want that number one pick back next year. Maybe they want that next year. You know, who knows? They can get it back plus. We don't know. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy though, huh?
Yeah.
It is. It's this is really this is like such an interesting division because all the other divisions, even if they're very competitive, most of the other divisions, you kind of have an idea, okay, you know what, I think these guys are the favorites, and that's how it is. But really, I mean, the Saints, we all say the Saints are the favorites, but it's not like, I mean, I would put that in pencil and not pen. You know what I'm saying?
True.
I agree with that one. Yeah.
You never know. You're right.
What, 7-9 won the division last year? Or I'm sorry, was 8-9 won the division last year?
Yeah.
You know? And it came down to the last game between what Tampa Bay had to beat Carolina to get in that. You think about that, like it's kind of a weak division, but one to the draft, to the free agency, we don't know, man. You know, right now we're looking at, just like you said, Joe, with the Saints, we can pencil it, but I'm not going to put it in pen. I better have one of those erasable big pens, you know, right now if I do it. But guys, what do we want to talk about next week? I mean, we mentioned something and we put it on Twitter. There was 7 votes with the NFC South last week that they agreed with this. So we'll give our idea where we want to go. I think you guys want to keep it in the NFC and just run with the NFC first and continue it with exclusion with the NFC East. We'll do that last week. What do you guys want to do?
Bounce back and forth. AFC, like we did, NFC. Let's go with the AFC.
How about we go with where the most movement's at? Where do we want to go next week?
AFC North.
AFC North. Okay.
So
AFC North. Okay. We'll run a Twitter poll for 48 hours. If it changes, we'll disregard what we thought. We'll go to a different division. But we got AFC North next week. Since Joe, you always go first, I'll let you pick the team from the AFC North if it already happens. I'll go last, whatever's available.
All right. I'll go Ravens.
Interesting. What I want to hear about Lamar Jackson. What happens in this week? Because tomorrow he can actually talk to teams. I know he's already fucking talking to teams. We already know that. Yeah. We already know that. He's on the phone talking to every team out there. But, yeah. Mike, where you want to go?
I'm going to go with the dog pound, the Brownies.
The Brownies?
I'm going with the Brownies.
Brownies, okay. Sean, I hope you don't take my team. Where are you going to go?
I won't take your team. Even though I like the Steelers, I'll go with the Johnny Bang Bang Mixon.
The Bengals.
I got to order a Nerf gun.
Yeah. I'll go to the Bengals.
Okay.
You can have the Steelers since you're up there.
I'll go to my Pittsburgh Steelers up here. You know, I live with enough of them on my street here, you know, looking at me kind of funny. But, yeah, I'll go with the Pittsburgh Steelers up here. You know, it's pretty easy to do the homework up here.
And I'm actually going to play some college football in 95 as soon as I'm done with you fine fellas. That's right. I said it on the Sega. That's right. On the 75 inch.
Man.
Dude, listen, I've been playing it.
Old.
Dude, I was playing hockey, NHL 95. I've been getting my teeth kicked in. I forget how to score in that game.
Yeah.
But it's great watching it on a 75 inch.
It is. It's fun, man. That's why I played on mine. Dude, it's like when you guys come up here this year for our Phillies-Pittsburgh game, Mike, I'm gonna hook up my Xbox downstairs, and I want you guys to play it on a 130-inch fucking screen.
It'll be fun,
dude. It's like this. Holy shit! Trying to play Madden on there, bro. Like you're playing quarterback. You are actually playing quarterback. That's what it feels like.
Nice.
But before we get out of here, guys, I got a little curveball I want to give you real quick. Off topic, not even about football. Sean and I talked about it already. Give me one Cinderella team in March Madness.
UConn Huskies, all the way.
Oh wow.
All the way?
I took them all the way.
Okay. Joe, where you going?
Okay.
Oh God, Cinderella. You know what's funny, Paul? I haven't even thought about it.
I'm just fucking. How bad is it that Villanova is not in it and they're underdogs versus Liberty in an NIT tonight? That is insane.
Wow.
Listen, no team from Philly.
I'll come up with here. You know what? Come back to me. I'll come up with an underdog.
All right, Sean, where are you going? Sean, you already know mine. I already told you what mine is. What are you going?
You know what? Give me damn.
I never heard of them. Never heard of the damn University.
Damn University.
Yeah, Charleston.
Carolina Charleston? That team?
No, Charleston. Is that the team that we were talking about?
I know there's two Charlestons. Coast Charleston or something like that. And Charleston, I forgot. Damn, you got me on that one, brother.
Yeah.
Holy crap. All right, TJ's out there. He's going to say Marquette. Okay.
You know what, man? Great pick, TJ.
That's why I got UConn beaten in the finals.
Marquette. He's yeah.
Do you really think Iona has a good chance to upset UConn?
Nope.
No. Okay, here it is right here. We already answered this question. It's College of Charleston. Okay. Damn, that's crazy. Well, thank you, Eileen. My parlay just busted tonight. I took Rutgers, and Rutgers just lost to Hofstra in the NIT. Just lost my parlay. Thank you.
Paul, I got one. I'm going Tennessee.
Okay. Tennessee?
Going Tennessee.
Are they a play-in team at 6-7?
No,
where
they're
are they at, Joe?
It says they're a 4 seed.
Okay. I'm going to go with a team that Sean and I talked about. I think they can – I don't have them going all the way. I think they make the final 8, which is really hard for them to do. I'm going to go St. Mary's. You always got to go with the Saint, brother. You know what happened the last 2 years, man. You know, when you got a nun out there agreeing with your team, you got to ride with the Saints. So I'm going St. Mary's, number 1. That's where I'm going. The Gales, I think.
We could use some religion. And, Paul, it's been 26 years? I think you could use some religion.
Joe, you always got to make me feel bad, man.
Sorry.
Oh, man. I can't wait till we do the NFC East, man. I really can't do that. I don't know, man. Are you guys going to give me the Cowboys?
Of course.
I think you guys should give me the Eagles.
No.
Actually, you know what, though? All kidding aside, that actually would be kind of fun. We should give
get your input. Yeah.
That would be kind of fun, actually.
All right, then which one of you clowns get the Eagles then?
No. We're going to give you the Eagles.
Yeah. Okay. I think, you know what, me, since I'm the oddball, I think I should pick where you guys go then for that week.
All right.
Okay.
That's fine.
Breaking news. Lions are signing David Montgomery. 3-year deal.
Wow. He's off the board.
18 mil.
So that means Jamal
So that
Williams
goes to show you Jamal Williams, before we get off, for DeAndre Swift, one of them are going to be expendable.
Let me ask you guys real quick before we get off here. I got another show in 30 minutes here, but I just want to ask you, since we just heard David Montgomery got signed, okay? Is there any possibility that my hometown boy could come back?
DeAndre Swift?
Yes.
Maybe.
Oh, here? Oh,
yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
I think the Eagles are done. I don't think the Eagles are spending any more money running back. I think they're going to roll with the cheap options and they're just going to draft a guy.
Okay, because DeAndre is what? This is his 4th year final next year. Mm-hmm. He could be a very cheap product if they, just a 1 year. Hey, figure out what we got here, man.
Well,
but the thing is, his injury too. He's injury prone too. Thinking about it. So hey, who knows?
Hey, we could put him with Rashad Penny and pray one of them plays a week.
Yeah.
You talk about 2 injury prone guys. Yeah,
I can just see it now. Yeah, you're at practice on a Friday. Like, all right, guys, you guys didn't play all week, but I need a third back here. We're gonna flip the fucking coin. Who feels like playing this week? Yeah. DeAndre, you're in. I got a broken leg. Penny, what do you got? I got turf toe. Well, one of you guys got to play.
He'd be like
Jamal
that guy.
Williams is definitely done.
He would be like that guy from "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker," where he falls down. He's like, my neck, my back. He's like, I could sue you for $100 million, but I'll settle right now for $40.
Exactly. Hell yeah, right? Hell yeah. Oh my God. All right, guys. So we are going to do the AFC North next week. We already picked our teams. We will put it on Twitter. If they throw us a curveball, we'll go do a different route. But we have the AFC North next week, which we already have our team. So before we get out of here, we'll be back in 1 minute to wrap up the show. Take a look at all our shows coming up here. There is one show that's not on there, Joystick Junkies, with debut last night. Great show. Regarding Joystick Junkies, in about 4 weeks, we all play video games. I did not know this. I went to high school with a guy named John Schwab. He's an actor. He was in Jack Ryan, many movies. He's been in Queen's Gambit. He's a regular on there. He does voices for over 40 video games, and I did not know this.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to have him on the show. Yeah, I didn't even know that. Regarding him, one of our co-hosts on the Big Blue Power Hour every Friday night, she had the biggest crush on him in high school, Stacy Northrop. So I'm just going to throw that out there. So let her know in the group chat.
Damn!
Yeah,
Telling secrets.
She had the biggest crush on him. I mean, Stacy gave me no time in school, but she loved John Schwab. So, but hey, it is what it is. But guys, we'll be back in 1 minute real quick to wrap up the show. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. A special night here Tuesday night. We're usually on Wednesday nights. We don't have any shows tomorrow. It's on my fault. I will be in Philadelphia tomorrow, going to visit that green area of 215. Philadelphia zone down there. So hope I don't get my ass smacked too hard. But for myself, Paul Spencer, Big Mike, Joe Sullivan, Sean Kilrain. Guys, Mike, what do you have Thursday night? Because I won't be here tomorrow night to talk to you from next shows on. But what do you got going on Thursday night real quick to get the viewers in?
Of course, we got Eagles free agency going on. Yeah. The Flyers are still tanking for Connor Bedard. And those Sixers, red hot, 5 in a row and counting. Can they get to the Eastern Conference Finals? We'll talk more about that on Thursday. And who knows, maybe I might grab a Sixers guy or two to come on
and
with
does Mike want to enlighten us on Embiid?
I was just going to ask him that.
What do you mean?
Are we trading him?
Yeah, we're trading him.
Damn Skippy, I'm trading him.
Oh,
dude, he is worth so much right now. See, look, Sean likes to start shit, but I got to do it. Like, you guys can't have it both ways. You can't say he's a great MVP candidate and that we're not going to get nothing back for him. So when they get bounced again, you're going to tell me I was right. But tune in Thursday night. We'll get into it more then.
Mike, real quick for you. If they offered Joel Embiid for the Joker, do you take the Joker right now?
No. Listen, Embiid's the best player in the NBA.
So why do you want to get rid of him?
It's not that. I don't think he'll ever win a championship here. I really don't. I think he's going to have to go somewhere else to win a championship. It's just how I feel.
Give me one player in the NBA right now, Mike. You trade Embiid for one player to give you a championship this year. Who do you take right now? Time's hard. You got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3. I was going to give you the middle finger too.
Jason Tatum.
Okay. All right.
I mean, if you're going to hold a gun to my head, that dude's a killer.
Okay.
But, I mean, he's not, like I said, Embiid's the best guy. And I've been.
Okay.
But he's never going to win one in Philly. He's got to go outside of Philly to win one. The Sixers are just too stupid to build around him.
And that'll be the ultimate slap in the face when you trade his ass, Mike.
No, because I'm the one calling it, saying that he has to go somewhere else to leave.
And he's going to go on Twitter and say, like, Mike.
Probably. Hey, look, listen, I'll take that. If he's giving me the bird, I'll be like, yo.
He's probably watching right now.
Come on my show. Come on my show. Come on my show. Give me the bird on the show, baby.
That's right. Come yell at me. I'll understand every third word, or I'll get Joe Conklin to translate. But other than that.
Oh, wow. That's fucked up. All right, guys. Well, let's get out of here. We'll do this again next Wednesday night, 8 p.m., AFC North. My name, Paul Spencer. Big Mike, Thursday night. Check him out. Joe Sullivan. Joe, real quick, where they can find your ass out, man?
Every Monday night, the Sully Squad. We'll be on there rapping. Hopefully, Eagles make some more moves by Monday night.
Hold on, can I do it? Can I do it, Diego, real quick?
Yeah.
Leave my man alone, man. Leave my boy alone. Okay?
I love Diego. I don't care.
If you don't leave him alone, he's gonna scream at you through the mic. So leave him the fuck alone, okay? You know right now.
I love his his close-ups. My man's got close-up for days.
Sean, what about you, brother?
Same thing. Solo Squad and
All right.
Thursday nights on Broad Street South with Mike Fuji and Angel Martinez.
All right, man. Sounds good. Listen, get in touch with Fuji. I want to get a couple shows here, man. Because there's a couple nights that I won't be available coming up. I have something to do on another computer with Chelsea's thing, so I can get Fuji to take my spot on here. All right?
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, guys. We will see you next Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Out of the Box Sports Network. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next week.